Action!
A couple of years ago, we were doing grassroots research with CPAs across the country. And one of the nice surprises that came out of that research was how engaged our members were and how passionate they felt about raising the financial literacy levels of Americans. They're engaged in communities across the country. And when we realized how much passion and how much expertise was out there, we created the 360 Degrees of Financial Literacy campaign. It has been enormously successful. Thousands and thousands of CPAs are involved across the country, and we've reached millions of consumers already. We wanted to extend that reach, and the best way to do that was getting into the media that Americans are exposed to. And to do that, we've partnered with the Ad Council.
The Ad Council knew that the alarming rate of bankruptcies was a very serious issue in this country. And so we reached out to a number of organizations, including AICPA, to educate us about the issue. And we learned that savings rates for young people and getting them to avoid debt was a very important message, and we were very proud to sponsor with AICPA.
People start pollution. People can stop it.
So working with the Ad Council meant being with the giants in public service campaigns. What's also exciting about the Ad Council is they're not just about promotion and advertising, they're about behavioral change. And working with an organization that has great experience in how to reach people and help them to change their actions was bringing our campaign, the 360 campaign, to a very new and exciting level.
Drinking and driving can kill a friendship.
One of the things we've learned through all of our campaigns, whether it's Buckle Up for Safety or Drunk Driving Prevention, it's okay to make people feel uncomfortable. It's not okay to offend people, but it's okay to make people feel uncomfortable, because it's that punch in the gut that's going to make someone stand up and think, wow, I really need to do things differently. For this campaign, we're talking to kids who are 25 to 35, so they're really young adults. And we found that this age group is really open to messages. They're the ones that are upwardly mobile, they're out of school, they're probably in their first or second job, and they're the ones that we feel we can make a big difference with.
The career builders that we're targeting with this campaign do see the media differently, and it takes a different kind of beast to get through to them in helping them to understand it's time to make changes. If you look at what the 24 to 35-year-old market is seeing, there's a great conflict there. And it is about being edgy and about being different and breaking stereotypes. So we had to walk that tightrope very carefully and help the agency to understand the parameters in which they had to operate to stay true to the integrity of the CPA while still breaking through that clutter.
We are working with Y&R Chicago on this campaign, and we selected them by mutual selection. They had come to us and said, we would love to work with you, and we said, great, we have this great campaign, and you know, a great marriage was born.
Of course, we're in the business of trying to help make people spend their money, so when an opportunity comes about where it's like, hey, we have to make people save, it was kind of a challenge.
They've pushed us a little bit, they've pushed us out of our comfort level, and they've pushed us to take a risk, and we're very happy that we have.
We started thinking, okay, what does savings mean? Piggy bank, but we've seen so many piggy banks, and usually what Ken and I do is we go through photographic inspiration. So keyed in piggy bank, and we saw a bunch of photographs of pigs, and we came across this very skinny pig. I was like, God, this hungry pig. Feed the pig, you know, so that's how it evolved. And we're like, feed the pig.
The Ad Council has this great history of these icons, advertising icons, from Smokey the Bear to the Crash Test Dummies to McGruff. And so we thought it might be a great time to introduce a new icon to their family. Kind of this metaphorical piggy bank, this guy who reminds you that on the 1st and the 15th, you should put a little money away, pay yourself first. So that we were hoping to get that into the culture, you know, like on the 1st and the 15th when you get your paycheck, they're like, well, you know, I gotta feed the pig. So hopefully that'll happen.
My job was initially to find directors. I sent the scripts out because it was such a great idea.
The response from directors and production companies was amazing, and a lot of people really wanted to be involved. Because it's a nonprofit job, there wasn't that much money necessarily from what a standard production would be, or certainly, the caliber of the idea and the work involved.
The thing with pro bono work is that you want to find a director that has a real passion for the project. Jeffrey loved the idea, so much so that he got on a plane and flew to us, and he came and pitched the whole process. He got the effects company involved, and it's become a labor of love for everyone.
Right off the bat, you could see the brilliance in the idea. So it became one of these situations where you say to yourself, we've got to do this regardless of budget, regardless of other commitments. We'll find a way.
This, I think, people will be TiVoing and rewinding and watching. I mean, it's a great idea, and it's going to be very cool to see come together.
Cut.
I think it's going to turn out great.
We had to find somebody who really carried themselves and had a kind of a love for life that just naturally, emanated from them. And along came this young man, came out of New York, and he came into casting, and he just had a life about him, and he kind of bubbled, and even you could see it in the way he walked and the way his just attitude was just amazing. And we kind of realized that, even with a mask on, he was going to be very effective. His personality was going to come through, even though his face was covered.
Well, I didn't know my face was totally going to be covered, but I was hoping. And now that it is, I don't know if I regret it or I'm happy.
I designed the makeup so that when he smiles, it rolls a certain way, it gives a certain look. It's easier to, if you already have the actor cast, work around their bone structure, take their picture into Photoshop and work around it to do the designs.
The way the mask was designed, it makes my smile even better because they pad it so that my mouth is open, and when I smile, that my cheeks are accentuated. So I can't take all the credit.
I think Austin was a great pick. He has a really animated smile. I could tell right away that he would be great under this makeup.
The thinking was finding a way to merge a person with a pig without it becoming too much of a cartoon. I kept feeling if it became too much like a stuffed animal or play figure, you wouldn't necessarily be able to connect with it in any human way. And in the case of who we've created this with, Austin, he's a great actor, reminds me in some ways of the best silent movie actors like Buster Keaton, people like that can say so much with so little. He can just bat his eyes and you get this whole set of ideas, like what he's up to, what's going on in his head.
Rolling.
Sounds good.
Production was the most interesting aspect of the entire campaign. To come up with an image that was edgy enough to break through to this audience was an incredible challenge, and it took a lot of negotiation to get there.
Right away, guys.
Benjamin is somebody who grows on you. He is an interesting looking pig, and as we developed him, we talked a lot about what his features should look like and trying to balance the need to have a pig that was interesting and startling, and also a pig that could serve as a friend and a conscience, and Benjamin does that.
Ultimately, what we really want people to take away from this campaign is recognizing that small changes do add up and that they can change their behavior in small incremental ways that will ultimately make their lives more financially secure.
The answer in financial literacy is really about moderation. There isn't an absolute. We're not saying to people, don't spend money. That's a major part of society. It's part of why people work. It's part of a fulfillment from that standpoint. It's not spending money in excess of means. It's not charging everything on a credit card and having a balance that couldn't be paid off in 100 years. Feed the Pig is about, wait a second, is there something else that I should be considering? And if so, what is it that I should do?
Historically, ad council campaigns have saved millions of acres of forests. We have saved lots of lives in encouraging people to buckle their seatbelt or keep friends from driving drunk. And we hope that the Feed the Pig campaign is going to join the roster of ad council campaigns by encouraging young people to save.
It got me thinking about retirement. It really did.
I need to feed the pig a little bit better myself.
This might be the first campaign to actually tell people to save money.
Anything that kind of brings people into some sense of responsibility and consideration of their future.
I learned that I needed a financial plan, and I literally got me and my husband got our stuff together, and we went and sought out a financial plan.
I have some savings, and I'm putting some away in my 401k.
And next time I spend, I'll be thinking about feeding the pig.
Wouldn't it be amazing if we actually help people make a dent, you know, in some of their debt?
It's about taking care of yourself and saving for a rainy day and hopefully a long life, you know.